start with the topic ratio, business mathematics and logical reasoning and statistics paper. So this is the first unit, first chapter we are going to start ratio, business mathematics and logical reasoning and statistics paper. Yes. So this is the first unit, first chapter we are going to start ratio. So we'll talk about ratios, we'll try to understand the meaning. And so this is the first unit, first chapter we are going to start ratio. So we'll talk about ratios, we'll try to understand the meaning. So the first thing that this is the first unit, first chapter we are going to talk about. So we'll talk about ratios, we use ratio in our day-to-day life. Everybody, almost all of us would have been using this term ratio in our day-to-day life, but we don't realize, generally. So what happens is, like, if you say there is this chocolate, I want half of it, and your friend or your sibling wants another half of it, that's like we are dividing it into some ratio. So once we divide a particular thing or amount or number into several different parts, that forms the ratio. So ratio is nothing but the comparison of the sizes of two or more quantities of same kind. So remember, there are certain terms here, and we need to understand the meaning of those terms before proceeding further. So when we are saying comparison, the comparison happens between the two sizes, and then the sizes should be of the same kind. Okay, it should be of the same kind. All right, so we'll be talking about these properties. These are very important properties of ratios. So you can only compare the two things when they are similar in nature, like one chocolate divided. Or we can talk about, division of property. We can talk about division of capital. So anything which is of the same, similar kind of nature, or they are same kind, I can compare my height with that of the height of my sibling. So when we compare the two of the heights, we divide them, and that's why it is known as ratio. So in the ratio, we have two terminologies, A and B, taking it as an example for us to understand, for us to make it simple. So when we are saying ratio, there has to be two or more quantities. So let one quantity be X and the other quantity be Y. So X and Y, when they are divided or they are compared with each other in comparison to Y, what is the size of X? That's what ratio is known about. So X and Y here stands for the terms of the ratio. We call them as terms of the ratio. Ratio is expressed, this is the symbol of ratio. It is expressed with two dots or colons in between the two numbers. The meaning of this colon is that it is X divided by Y or X by Y. It's like this. Okay. Okay. I think if the voice is echoing, check the network, but otherwise it's clear from my end. And okay, so when we are talking about X and Y here, and we are comparing the two quantities, they also are named separately. We might need the name, right? So X stands for antecedent and Y stands for consequent. So what I've written in the slide is A is to B. A is to B means A by B, and A is the first term, that is the numerator. The numerator is known as the first term or antecedent, and B stands for the second term. So second term or the denominator, or Y in my case here, is known as consequent. I hope you're understanding this much. Yes. No need of writing. The notes will be shared with you. Don't worry. So the ratio of two quantities is 5:9. Let us understand the meaning of antecedent and consequent here and the significance of ratio, a bit of it. So a ratio of two quantities is 5:9. Say, let us suppose the age. All right. So if my age is, 27, and the consequent basically is 27. And the ratio here is for supposedly age of my son is to age, okay, I'll take sibling. Age of sibling is to age of myself. So if my age stands here for 27, what would be the age of sibling or the friend? So the consequent is the denominator. So if the ratio is 5/9 and the consequent here is 27, can you try and identify antecedent? Yes, perfect. So Satyam has given me the correct answer. It's 15. Now, how to get this? All right. See, 9 threes are 27. If the and consequent is 27, ratios are expressed in the simplest form. So if 5:9 is the ratio, so 9 3 times is 27. Hence, 5 3 times will be the antecedent. That's perfect. 15. Very good. Very good. Good. So hopefully you understood this. All right. We'll move to the next slide. The other term that we use in ratios is inverse. So inverse in general is a ratio that will give me the product when multiplied with the ratio itself. The inverse ratio is the number or the kind of ratio when multiplied with the original ratio gives the product as 1. It's a kind of reciprocal, if you understand the term reciprocal. Yes, Anjali, I'm getting your comments. And yes, Prashant, you can comment here. Okay. So if the ratio is A/B or A is to B, the reciprocal would be reverse. That is, your antecedent becomes your consequent and your consequent becomes your antecedent. Inverse of the ratio is just the opposite or the reciprocal. So if you have A is to B as a ratio, the inverse would be B is to A. Okay. See, the official language that we can use here is English, although, but I'll try to repeat a bit in between in Hindi. जब बहुत technical कोई बात होगी, I can explain that also. As of now, to understand A by B का reciprocal or opposite, B by A would be the inverse of this ratio. The property of inverse is that when it is multiplied with the original ratio, it gives you the product equal to 1. So can you give me the inverse of 5:8? Very good. 8:5 I got from Noman. Yes. All right. I hope this is understood. Okay, very quickly, give me the inverse of 12:19. 12:19. The reciprocal of 12:19. Okay, it has to be the consequent becomes the antecedent and antecedent becomes the consequent. 19:12. All right. Then we have compounded ratio. Let's talk about compounded ratio. Yes, 19:12. I've got so many answers and the quicker ones. Good. All right, let's talk about now compounded ratio. Now, what is compounded ratio? When you have for compounded ratio, we need multiple ratios basically. So like I said, I have one of the ratios 5/8. 5:8. Then there was another ratio 12:19. So compounded ratio says multiply the antecedents with each other and multiply the consequents with each other. That gives you a compounded ratio. So for A is to B and C is to D, compounded ratio would be A into C is to B into D. This is there. That is product of antecedents is to product of consequence. All right. So quickly, short part, can you calculate compound ratio of 3:5 and 6:7 and 1:4? Yes. So can you solve 3 6 are 18, 5 7 are 35, 35 into 4, 140. Either you do it this way or you can also simplify. Ratios are expressed in the simplest term. So I can divide it here. Either it goes like this, 9 by 70, or you can also do it here. 2 2s are 2 3s are. That is 9 is to 70 is your answer. Good, very good. Try to express in the simplest form. Those who have given me 18 is to 140, that's correct. But ratios are expressed in the simplest form. Okay. Going next, further advancing. Just like compounded ratios, we have duplicate ratio. Actually, it is of one step ahead of compounding. It is a kind of compounding ratio, but compounded with itself. That is, A is to B is compounded with A is to B again. That is, A by B is multiplied with A by B, giving us A square by B square. Or in simple terms, it is the square of the ratio, or duplicate ratio means the ratio which is compounded with itself. So very quickly, good. You people are responding very nicely. I can see that. So calculate the duplicate of 10 is to 13 quickly. Yes, I can read all of your comments. So 10 is to 13. 10 is to 13 square or multiplied with itself. We can do it very quickly. 10 ka square is 100. 13 is 169. 100 is to 169. Perfect. I'm getting good answers. Yes. Yes, Ishan. Yes, Acharya. Everybody. Yes, I can see your answers. Good. Now, duplicate is squaring. If duplicate is squaring, sub-duplicate is square rooting. So we square root. So if I have 100 is to 169 as one of the ratios, when I square root it, when I find the square root of the antecedent and the square root of the consequent, the answer that I would be getting is subduplicate. So I hope you're understanding. For A is to B, A square by B square is the duplicate ratio, while square root of A and square root of B will give you subduplicate ratio. It's like this. Yes. Now I should have quick answers. Waiting again for your answers. Subduplicate of 100 is to 120. Very, very nice. Yes, I've got the answers. Sakshi, it's not okay. You might be giving me the previous answer. Yes. Okay, so subduplicate of 100, 100 square root is 10, 121 square root is 11. Yes, you are right. 10 is to 11 is the answer for this question. Very good. Nice. Quick responses. Okay, so we can go very quick further then. Just like duplicate ratios, we have triplicate also. Triplicate gives us the cubes. A cube is to B cube. So it is the, you can call it like, it is a compounded ratio of the given ratio with itself twice, or it is the compounded ratio of the ratio with its duplicate. It gives you the cube or the triplicate ratio. So ratio compounded with its duplicate gives you the cube of the ratio, that is triplicate ratio. Answer. Yes, Rishika, I can see your comments. Yes, Sadia, your answer is visible. So give me the triplicate of 3 is to 5. 3 multiplied thrice, 5 multiplied thrice gives you 27 is to 125. Very good. Yes. Very nice. Now you will tell me if square is duplicate and square root is subduplicate. So cube is triplicate and cube root hence would be subtriplicate. Here we are. The cube root of A is to B gives us subduplicate. Okay, yes, I'm getting good answers. Very nice, yes. So cube root of the ratio. Now, can you calculate the subtriplicate of 729 and 343? Yes. Right, subtriplicate, I got the answers, yes. So for 729, it is cube root. 9 multiplied 3 times gives us 729, 9 nines are 81, 9s are 729, 7 sevens are 49, 7s are 343. So this is the number, when you cube root it, you get 9:7. Very good, nice. No, not 19/12, beta. 9/7 is the correct answer. Yes, I can see your answers. Don't worry. Okay. For those who want this to be repeated, I'll repeat it. Duplicate of a ratio. If A by B is the ratio, duplicate of a ratio is the square of that ratio. That is compounding with itself. Subduplicate of that ratio will be square root of the ratio. Likewise, triplicate is cube of the ratio, and subtriplicate will be the cube root of the ratio. It's like this. 9/7 is correct. Okay. Right. All right, let's go for the next part. Now the continued ratio, something not so difficult and very common, though we have been using it, but we never used it in the technical terms, you know. Before you see the example, I would like to tell you. All right, so let us make a group of say 3 people, 2 of you and 1 me. So let's all come together and form a business. Let's say a partnership business. I would say I can contribute 10,000 rupees. You were saying that you would be contributing 20,000 rupees. Then the third friend is contributing again 10,000 rupees. So when I am trying to, you know, work upon the relationship between 3 or more quantities, when I'm comparing the magnitude of 3 or more quantities with each other, in line with each other, then that would be known as continued ratio. जब हम 3 या 3 से ज्यादा क्वांटिटीज को एक दूसरे के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं, तब उसको continued ratio कहते हैं. Like the 3 of us are contributing in the ratio 10,000 is to 20,000 is to 10,000. And when simplified, this will look like this. The contribution is 1 is to 2 is to 1. That means 1 out of 4. If you take the total 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 4. So 1 out of 4 is my contribution. 2 out of 4 is your contribution. And 1 out of 4 is the third friend's contribution. Right? So you're understanding this? ये समझ में आ रहा है? 1/4 हिस्सा अगर हम टोटल करें 40,000, 1/4 हिस्सा मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन है, 2/4 आपका है और 1/4 हमारा है. तो again it's like this. When 3 or more quantities, it's not only 3 people, we can have 5 partners. 5 partners भी हम contribution कर सकते हैं, and then we will have the comparison of 5 numbers with each other. And when we derive the relationship of these 5 numbers with each other, we get the continued ratio. So comparison between the magnitude of 3 or more quantities is the continued ratio. Let's look through a simple example here. So if profit in a firm is distributed to A, B, and C as 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. So we have decided to divide the profit in the ratio 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. What is the profit sharing ratio? Yes, beta. Continued ratio is the relationship between 3 or more of the magnitudes. Fine. So continued relationship or continued ratio will compare the magnitude, the quantities which are more than 3 in number. So when the profit is divided amongst 3 people, say A, B, and C, in the ratio 2000, 3000, and 4000, what is the ratio between them? That is 2000 is to 3000 is to 4000. Simplifying, it's 2 is to 3 is to 4. Good. A lot of you are giving me good answers and the quicker answers. That's good. Very good. All right. Now something important. We have something called commensurable quantities and incommensurable quantities. When you can express a quantity or the ratios in the form of ratio of integers. Yes, I can see your answers. Sorry. Okay. So commensurable and incommensurable quantities is when you are comparing the ratio of certain quantities, and eventually they can be expressed in the ratio of integers. They can be expressed in terms of integers. That is, one integer is to other integer. Then they are known as commensurable quantities. So any quantity you pick up, like this profit I have just picked up, 2 is to 3 is to 4. All 2, 3, and 4 have been integers, right? So when integers, when you can compare the ratios and the ratio is in the form of integer is to integer, then it is known as commensurable quantity. But when the ratio expression, that is individual values, they cannot be expressed as the ratio of integers. Integer is to integer, like root 5 is to root 7, like root 2 is to root 3. Then they are incommensurable quantities. All right. All right. Yes. I hope this is understandable. So Sakaldeep, I can see my answers. Neil, I have seen your answer also. And yes, all of you, you're giving me the correct answers, right? All right. So let's move further. Okay, before we go towards the notes, very quickly, if you can help me out in revising what all things, we studied in terms of terminologies. Yes. So we did inverse of the ratio. We understood ratio. Very quick revision. A is to B, wherein A and B are the terms. A is the antecedent and B is the consequent. I'm repeating for those who have just joined. Yeah. So very quickly, please listen to this. I'll repeat, don't worry. I'll repeat everything. So ratio A is to B is A is the antecedent, B is the consequent. And then we talked about inverse of the ratio. Inverse means if A is to B is a ratio, its inverse would be B is to A. That is, the ratio when multiplied with its inverse will give the product as 1. It is the reciprocal of the current ratio. All right. Then we talked about compound ratio. Compound ratio is when you have A is to B as one ratio, C is to D as another ratio. The compound ratio will be product of antecedents is to product of consequence. Fine. Then we talked about duplicate ratio. Just now I told you duplicate ratio is the square of the ratio. Subduplicate ratio. Subduplicate ratio is the square root of the ratio or the individual terms. Triplicate ratio are the cube of the ratios, and subtriplicate ratios are the cube roots. Then you have continued ratio. In the continued ratio, we talked about comparison between 3 or more quantities. Then we have commensurable and incommensurable quantities. See, commensurable quantities. So for those who are asking me the term integers, integers are positive and negative whole numbers and the natural numbers. So when you have a number, any number, say 4, 7, -5, -2.3, All of these stands for integers, right? So integers are positive and negative, not this part, but yes, integers are positive and negative whole numbers. So when you are able to express any ratio in the terms of the ratio of integers, it becomes commensurable quantity. Fine. Commensurable quantity means the ratio of those quantities can be expressed as the ratio of integers. So I am getting a question, is 3 is to root 2 commensurable or incommensurable? It is incommensurable. Is that okay? Okay. So incommensurable quantity is the one where the different quantities, the two quantities are the ratio. Basically, okay, I'll just quickly tell you. It says the ratio should be integer 1 is to integer 2. If you can express any ratio in this form, then these terms A and B will become commensurable. Fine. But if it is integer is to non-integer, or vice versa, non-integer is to integer, or non-integer is to non-integer, all such quantities will be incommensurable quantities. They are not ratio, they are quantities. Okay. All right. Now, quick notes before we go for further questions of ratios. As I have been repeatedly telling you, that the ratio must be expressed in the lowest form. That is, you should bring down the ratio in the simplest form. So one point you should always remember, that a ratio will remain unchanged if it is multiplied or divided with a common number. So if I compare, multiply or divide any ratio with the same number, that is, I am multiplying and dividing the numerator and denominator both with the same number, then the ratio remains intact. It doesn't gets affected. The value doesn't change. So what we must do is we must bring down the ratio in the lowest or the simplest form. So in order to do that, we may multiply also, we may divide also the ratios by the same number. Okay. So if you have to bring it down to the simplest form, 35 is to 49. 35 and 49 have a common factor, and that common factor is 7. So when you divide it, it becomes 7 divide by 7 each. Then it becomes 5 is to 7. This is the simplest form of this ratio. Okay. Those of you who are asking me the decimal ratios, let me tell you, see, decimals can always be expressed in the terms of integers. Say, for example, someone is asking me, okay, very quickly, I'll just tell you. Someone is asking me if 1.2, okay, or 1 is to 2.5 commensurable quantity or not. See, 2.5 can be written as 5 by 2. It can be written as 5 by 2. It becomes 2 by 5, right? So it is, these are commensurable quantities. Fine. So if you can express any ratio in integers form, they are commensurable quantities. Are you getting this? Okay. All right. Then coming back, yes, 5 is to 7. I got the answer. The other one, can you give me the simplest form of 24 is to 54? Yes, someone has given me 6 4s are and 6 9s are. Yes, 4 is to 9. That's correct. Okay. So I hope you have understood this part also. The ratios must be expressed in the simplest form. They can be multiplied and divided by the same number. Okay, I shall give you an example when I will be multiplying both the ratios with the same number, and then I'll be getting a good ratio or the simplest form. So something like just someone asked 0.2 is to 2.5. Can you see this? So what I would be doing is I'll multiply both of them by 10. I get the ratio 2 is to 25. This is the simplest form. 0.2 and 2.5 is not a simplest form. When the ratios are, it is better to express them in the comparison as in terms of the integers or the whole numbers. A is to B. Let them be the whole numbers. Then it looks better also, and it is better for calculation also. Yes, I can see all of your comments. I can see your answers also, and your answers are absolutely correct, and that is really good. Let's go for the next part. Order of the terms of the ratios is always important. You can never okay. You cannot in general treat A is to B as same as B is to A. A simple example for you to understand. There is this piece of chocolate, and you say, okay, we'll divide them into the 3 parts. Okay, and someone is saying that I will get 1 part of it. Someone said I'll get the 2 parts of the chocolate, and the third person says, okay, I'll take another last 1 part left over. If I compare it with this 1 is to 2, so what you are intending to do is, okay, we'll ignore this part. I'm saying I'll take 1 out of the entire chocolate, and you're saying you'll take 2 out of the entire chocolate. So 1, I'm getting 1 on 3, you are getting 2 on 3, right? And then someone says that ratios can be the order of the ratios can be changed, and then it doesn't matter. It's not like that. Try and understand. The order of the terms is very important. If you and me, we are dividing the chocolate in the ratio 2 is to 1, that means you're taking 2 parts out of the total 3 part. I'm taking 1 part. But if you're saying order is not that important, okay, I'll reverse the order. Your share goes half. You're understanding? So you'll get now 1 out of the 3, and I'm getting 2 out of the 3. Right? Keshav, please wait. I'll repeat it again in the last, because I have already repeated commensurable, incommensurable multiple times. Don't worry, I'll repeat it. I'll repeat all the concepts once again before going for the questions. Don't worry. Okay, you may wait. All right. So the order of the ratio or the terms of the ratio is very important, as in A is to B is not equal to B is to A. You need to understand. 5 is to let's say 8. That is, numerator is less and the denominator is high. Cannot be same as 8 is to 5. I hope you're understanding this. Okay, the simplest one, 1 is to 2. 1 is to 2 means 1 by 2, 0.5. 2 is to 1 means twice. The value itself is changing. So I hope you're understanding this, right? So the order of the ratio, that means if the ratio is A is to B, it must be A is to B. You cannot make it equal to B is to A. B is to A is the inverse of the ratio. It's the opposite. So if you think A is to B is fetching you more profit, don't get mistaken by taking B is to A. क्या फर्क पड़ता है, same है. It's not like that, right? So B is to A is different from A is to B. The only place where they are going to be same. Any guesses? The only situation or the ratio where the order of the terms of the ratio will not be important. Any guesses? Inverse are never equal. Inverse are never equal, Garvit. Perfect. I'm getting good answers. Gaurav, Priyanka, Ritik, good answers. Yes, 1 is to 1. When the order of the ratio is 1 is to 1, the simplest of the ratio, they are same. Then the order of the ratio will not matter. The terms will not matter. But other than 1 is to 1, in all the cases, terms order does have importance. They hold too much of importance. That's very relevant part to understand. All right, good. I'm getting the answers. Yes. Okay, both numbers mean same. If you're saying, okay, I'll take 5:5. It's the same thing as 1:1, right? You are also right. 3:3 is correct. 4:4 is correct. But the point is, in the simplest form, when antecedent and consequent are equal, the simplest form of presenting that antecedent consequent ratio would be 1:1. So 1:1 is correct. Of course, order is important, but in case of 3, see, Atharv is asking, I just mistakenly gave you this 1:2:1. He's asking, is the order important here? Yes, it is important here. This is A, B, C. So if I say 2:1:1, I have changed the order of the terms. Of course, your share will be changing. It is important. So order is important in all the three, whether it is the continued ratio, 3 terms, or it is the 2 numbers ratio. The comparison, basically what we are doing is we are comparing one value with that of the other. And when you're doing this comparison, it is right now like A in terms of B, then it becomes B in terms of A. The meaning changes, the relevance changes, I hope you understand this much. When the numbers are same, yes, Saurabh, then it doesn't matter. Or when antecedent is equal to consequent, yes, you're right, it doesn't matter, it's correct. Then the order doesn't matter. And yes, ratios can be negative. So coming back, basically ratio is what? See, ratio is it is the relationship between one or two or like multiple variables with each other. So there can be like one of the quantity, if it is negative, the ratio might be there. So yes, now quantities must be of same kind. This is another important note before we are going for ratios further. The quantities must be of same kind, as in I can compare my weight with your weight, I can compare my age with your age, I can compare my qualification with your qualification. So it does make sense, when we have the common base, it does make sense that your these values should be of the same nature. Your chartered accountancy marks, if they are supposed to be compared with the siblings 12 standard marks, you will not say it doesn't matter, it should not be the the comparison is not fair, it's not good. There is no comparison, of course, right? So it should be of the same kind, the quantity must be of the same kind, right? So ratio between salaries of employees, like this is one example, salary of A can be compared with that of salary of B. So A is earning twice as much as B. Makes sense. But if I am saying my age is 25 years and then I'm earning a salary of 50,000, there is no such good relation between them. Like we cannot compare. So basically ratios are calculated for comparison purpose. So there is no such ratio if the quantities are not of the same kind. Right? So yes, that is one part. Okay. The next part, the quantities must be of same units. Apart from same kind, they must be of same unit. Now, what is the difference between having them in the same unit? Yes, people, you will be getting PDF, you will be getting notes after this. Don't worry, I'll be sharing all the notes. The questions will be shared with you. All right. And the solutions you are doing with me in the class itself. I hope so. No? So coming back, ratios must be of same units. Okay, I say, you know what, I can complete this entire maths question paper, which is for 3 hours. I can complete this question paper in 20 minutes, though it's not true, but let's take it as an example. I can finish in 20 minutes. And then you say, okay, for me, this is an absolutely new subject. I have to read through my textbooks and I have to find the solution from the books. So I will take approximately 5 hours. Is there a comparison? No, they cannot be. Though both of them are of same kind. We are talking about time to complete the paper. They are of same kind. But The units are different. 20:5, you will say, oh, you see, you are taking 4 times more time than me. No, it's not like that. The units must be same. If this is minutes, this should also be minutes. If this is hours, this should also be in hours. So that ways your units must be same. ठीक है. आपको क्वेश्चन में जब आपको बताया गया है कि रेशियोज कंपैरिजन हो रहा है दो वैल्यूज के बीच में, दो सेम तरह के वैल्यूज तो होने चाहिए, बट उनको मेजर करने का जो यूनिट होता है वो भी सेम होना चाहिए. ठीक है. क्वांटिटी मींस मेजरमेंट. क्वांटिटी इज द मैग्नीट्यूड, like whatever you are measuring, that's quantity. So quantities must be of same kind. Like I'm measuring, I'm calculating salary, I am calculating weight, I am calculating the time to finish the question, I am calculating the distance traveled. So quantity is whatever you are measuring or you are comparing. Those are quantities. So quantities must be of the same unit. I hope you understand the meaning of quantity. Okay. So in this first case, can I take the ratio 5 kgs is to 10 kgs? Yes. It's like this. My bag weighs 5 kgs, your bag weighs 10 kgs. So your bag is weighing twice as much as my bag. That makes sense, right? But when it is given 10 minutes and 120 seconds, I take 10 minutes, you take 120 seconds. So what should we do? Either you convert this minute into seconds and then compare, or you convert the seconds into minute and then compare. We can do both ways. So for the first part, 10 minutes, 1 minute, jinko nahi aata, people are asking me this, how to convert. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So 10 minutes is equal to 10 into 60, that is 600 seconds. So 600 seconds can be compared with 120 seconds. I hope you're understanding this, right? So if we simplify this, it is 5:1. All right. Or I'll tell you the other way also. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. That means 1 second is equal to 1/60 minute. So 120 seconds is equal to 120/60, 2 minutes. Now I can compare 10 minutes with 2 minutes. That again gives me the ratio 5:1. So your answer will be same. It doesn't matter whether you take both in minutes or you take both in seconds. This will not change because you're multiplying them with the same value, right? So okay, people don't write 10:2 bache, because we express ratios in the simplest or the lowest form. 5:1 is a better answer. That's a good answer. Yes. Great. Last one you will do for me. So if it is 250, I have done 250 meters walk. You went for 5 kilometers walk. Okay, let's compare. I said I am doing better. I walk 250 meters. And you said I just walk 5 kilometers. So what is the ratio? Yes, I'm getting the answers. Again, good ones. The first answer I got from Chandan, 1:20. Yes, good. So 5 kilometer is equal to 5,000 meters. That's correct. So 250 when divided by 5,000. Yes, that's 1:20. Very good. Good. As of now, there is no calculator trick. It's simply dividing the two numbers. All right. Then we'll be doing comparison of the ratio. See, when we are doing comparison of the ratio, it is again very like simple thing. If you understand, I say I complete my, I have done 2 questions. You say you have done 5 questions. This is our comparison. Then someone else says, another group of students, they are performing these questions. Someone said, I have done 4 questions. The other person says, I have done 3 questions. These are still comparable, you can compare the ratios with each other. But how will you compare them? What is the comparison of 2:5 and 4:3? So the idea is, in order to compare the ratios, we have to convert them into equivalent fractions first. As in 5 of yours and 2 of mine, 3 of yours and 4 of mine. There's no comparison. what we can do is we'll convert them into equivalent fraction. How to convert them into equivalent fraction? Please try and understand. Please focus here now. Okay, I've got the answer. Focus here. In order to make them convertible or comparable, we have to convert these denominators. Through these denominators, we will compare them, bring them into equivalent fractions. So what we do is we take the LCM, lowest common multiple of 5 and 3, as in the smallest number which is divisible by both 5 and 3. हमें ऐसा नंबर निकालना है जो 5 और 3 दोनों से डिवाइड हो जाए, सबसे छोटा वाला, that comes to 15. So in order to make it 15, in order to make 5 as 15, I will multiply this ratio by 3. In order to make this 3 as 15, I will multiply the ratios by 5. Are you understanding this? Okay, so now what is happening here is this becomes 6:15. This becomes 20:15. Now your performance is better. It shows. Now I can compare. 20 is greater than 6. These are then comparable ratios. So in order to make the ratios comparable, convert them into equivalent fractions. When we say equivalent fractions, that is the denominators must be same. The consequence must be same. Yes, by making the denominators equal. Yes. All right. So if we have to make this comparison of these two ratios, can you help me? For the first part, 3.5 by 7. 3.5 by 7, when expressed in simpler term, 35. 7 5s are 7 10s are 1 by 2. I'm doing, I could have written 1:2 directly, but I'm doing this for you to understand, right? So the first ratio is 1:2. The other ratio, 2 by 3 is 2. 5 by 7. If you understand, 2 by 3 divided by 5 by 7. It's like this. So you multiply them. 2 into 7 by 3 into 5 makes it 14 by 15. Any problem to anyone in understanding till here? All right, now I have to compare 1 by 2 with 14 by 15. Can I do that? As of now, no. I don't know which is bigger. So what I would be doing is I will make both the denominators equivalent. That is the number, find out the number जो 2 और 15 दोनों से divisible हो जाएगा. That is 30. 2 into 15 is 30. So 15 multiplied in both numerators, 2 multiplied in both numerator and denominator. So this gives me 15 by 30. This gives me 28 by 30, which is bigger. Clearly, 14 by 15 is a greater number. Yeah. 5 by 7. Beta, you have to compare these two ratios. This is one ratio, this is another ratio. So we bring these two ratios into the equivalent form. So this ratio in its equivalent form is 15 by 30. This ratio in its equivalent form is 28 by 30. So 28 by 30 is the bigger number. Yes, good. I'm getting the answers. Yes. You don't have to add. Ashutosh, you are adding. हमें add नहीं करना. We are only comparing the two ratios. Okay. If this is good to go, yes, I can see your comments, Ritika. So if this is good to go, I would like to take you further into the second part. That is factor multiplying ratio. Very important. Huh? We are going to use this in one of the application questions also. So this one says it has a very, logical meaning behind it. Okay. Factor multiplying ratio. Factor multiplying ratio says if one of your quantities is increasing or decreasing in some ratio. If a quantity increases or decreases in a certain ratio, then what would be the new quantity as compared to the older one? So the ratio of the new quantity with that of older one gives you the factor multiplying ratio. I know it sounds quite confusing, but I'll tell you. See, if I say A scored, let us try to understand this with an example first. A scored 50 marks in first term. So you got 50 marks in first term, you're doing good. And the marks are increased in the ratio 2:3. So if you understand, you got 50 marks in the first term. And now in the new term, your marks have increased. By how much? To how much? We don't know. But the marks has increased in the ratio 2:3. That is, if your ratio, if the marks in the first term was 2 times of X, marks in the second term is 3 times of that X. So what would be the marks in the second term? How are you getting this? If supposedly I'm taking this as X. So if you understand, I have to calculate X, the new term, the new marks. So your X will be equal to 50 into 3/2. So this 3/2 is factor multiplying ratio. If your value or the quantity is increasing or decreasing in A/B ratio, then the original quantity will be multiplied with the inverse of that ratio to get the new quantity. And hence that inverse will be taken as factor multiplying ratio. That's 75, Anjali. Okay. For those who are asking in Hindi, I'll repeat this concept in Hindi for you. Supposedly, आपके marks बोले गए हैं कि 50 आए हैं और ये increase हुए हैं 2:3 रेशियो में. 2 अभी के marks हैं और ये 3 times वाले रेशियो में increase हो गए. जो अभी 2 times है वो 3 times of something पे increase हो गए हैं. तो आपसे फैक्टर मल्टीप्लाइंग रेशियो पूछा गया है, वो बाद में बताते हैं, पहले मैं आपको ये बताती हूँ. तो अगर 50:X, 50 अभी के मार्क्स हैं और वो अभी 2 टाइम्स है, आप यहीं से समझिए ना, 2 टाइम्स अभी हैं, अब इंक्रीज होके वो 3 टाइम्स होने वाले हैं. तो आप 50 से 3/2 मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे टू गेट द न्यू मार्क्स. तो ये जो 3/2 है ये फैक्टर मल्टीप्लाइंग रेशियो है. ठीक है. 75 is the correct answer and FMR is 3/2. Yes. I'm speaking in English most of the times, but for once in a while, just to repeat what I have already taught in English, just to repeat that, I had used Hindi somewhere in between. Is this clear till here? Is this clear? All right. So, okay. Just a minute. I'll continue. Okay. We'll go for the application based questions from here. We have a few application based questions that we would be discussing now. More of technical ones for you to understand. Just a sec. All right. Sorry. Okay, I can explain comparison of ratios. Someone is asking, can you explain comparison of the ratios? Yes, I can do that. For the purpose of comparison of ratios, it says you have to convert the ratios in the equivalent numbers. Okay, I'll bring a simpler one. Ye thoda sa complicated tha. I'll bring a simpler one. So if you have a ratio 1:2, as in You are saying that I am going to get 1:2 of the profit in the business. And then your friend says I'm getting 2:3. Who's getting more? How do we get? How can we compare these ratios, you know? So we need to bring them into equivalent fractions. When we say equivalent fractions are the ones which have same denominator. So we have to bring the common denominator to both the ratios. So what we do is we take the LCM of 2 and 3. So when we are taking LCM of 2 and 3, we get 6. That is 6 is the number which arises both in 2 and 3's table. So we get this as 3s:6. In order to make this 6, we will multiply numerator and denominator by 2. So we get as 4:6. Now who is getting more? 2:3. Is that okay? Is that okay now? FMR is factor multiplying ratio, beta. Factor multiplying ratio is when your ratio is increased or decreased by a certain, when your number is increased or decreased by a certain ratio, then the reciprocal of that ratio is multiplied, or the inverse of that ratio is multiplied with the original quantity in order to get the new quantity. That inverse is known as FMR or factor multiplying ratio. Okay. Yes, I can see now. It's they are more understandable, right? Okay. I hope we can go for the question. Okay. Now again, you want yes, we have to make the denominator same. Yes, Ronak, we have to make denominator same. Factor multiplying ratio. Okay. What I'll do is for factor multiplying ratio itself, we have okay, we have an illustration in your study material. It says, we'll do that. It says there's Ronak, whose weight is 56.7 kgs. And he wants to reduce his weight. So he is reducing his weight. Now he is reducing his weight in the ratio 7:6. He will be reducing his weight in the ratio 7:6. Like whatever he is having the weight as 7 times, he wants to get it into 6 times. He wants to reduce his weight. So what would be his new weight? People, have you started working? The new weight? So if 56:7 is 7 times some ratio, some number, right? Now what would be the 6 times that number so that we get this new weight? Fine. So yes, 48.6 kgs is the right answer. How do we get it? How do we get this? If I say this is the new weight, okay, if you don't understand FMR, forget it. I'll tell you how we'll go about with this. We have an existing weight of 56.7. The weight will be reduced in the ratio 7:6. So let new weight be W. So 56.7 by W is now in the ratio 7:6. So the W will be equal to 56.7. This comes here. 56.7 multiplied with 6, 7W. So W will be equal to 56.7 into 6/7. Are you understanding now? Fine. So this 6/7 is nothing but factor multiplying ratio. Factor multiplying ratio says if the quantity is increasing or decreasing in A:B ratio, then B by A will be multiplied with the original quantity to get the new quantity. The reciprocal will be multiplied, or the inverse will be multiplied with the original quantity in order to get the new quantity. So whatever you are multiplying, the inverse that you are multiplying of the ratio is known as factor multiplying ratio. Okay. Okay, fine. All right. For the rest of the doubts, we'll be covering some questions and let's work from there, right? So this is your first question. Let's look into the first question. Okay. So this question says, Finance Department of X Limited has 50 employees. Ratio of graduate and postgraduate employees is 4:1. Then the HR manager wants to increase the postgraduate employees to 15. How many more graduate employees may be hired to maintain the ratio of grads to postgrads at 3:1? Okay, see this. Finance Department of X Limited has 50 employees. So the total employees are 50. Out of these 50 employees, we have some graduates and some postgraduate. The graduate is to postgraduate ratio is 4:1. So can you calculate the graduate and postgraduate for me? If you can do that. Graduate employees would be 4 by 4 plus 1, 5 of 50. And postgraduate employees would be 1 by 5 of 50, 40 and 10. Yes, good. I've got this. Now the HR manager wants to increase the postgraduate employees to 15. This is very important. You know, I have purposely put this word to here because often students get confused this with this. So when they say, before I go for the concept of the question, try to understand this additional part. When I say postgraduate employees to increase to 15, to increase to 15 means from 10, I want them to reach out to 15. Fine. But when the question says postgraduate to increase by 15, that means the increase must happen by 15 more employees. That is, with the existing employees, we need 15 more, increase by 15. That means your postgraduate employees must be 25. So be careful with the term to or by in the question from the next time. Fine. So Abhi, we have the question says increase to 15. That is, my new postgraduate employees must be 15. Fine. Now, how many more graduate employees do I need so that overall ratio comes to 3:1? So I will say the new ratio is 3:1, right? For graduate is to postgraduate. Again, X is to 15. Someone was asking me more questions for FMR. This is here. Factor, multiplier, ratio. So what will happen? 15 will be multiplied with 3/1 to get the new quantity, that is 45. If you don't understand this, forget it. Simply, what should be X upon 15 so that it becomes 3/1? Cross multiply, your X comes to 45. That is, your total postgraduate employees must be 45 in numbers. But the question is, don't get confused. The question is how many more, total graduate, how many more graduate employees? So we already have how many graduate employees? 40. So how many more do we need? We need 5 more. Very good. I've got those answers initially. Very good. See, 3 by 4 will happen when we are talking about the total. Someone is asking, ma'am, 3 by 4 nahi hoga. Isko dhyan se suno. Please listen to this carefully. Your new graduate employees are 45. Postgraduate employees are 15. And that makes it 16. That gives the ratio 3:1. 3:1, that is 3 by 4. 3 by 4 is of the total employees. So whenever you are saying 3 by 4, that 4 becomes total. 4 is the total. And when we are saying 3:1, we are saying only graduate is to postgraduate. We are not talking about graduate is to total. Okay. 5 more in graduate. Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. Someone is asking, ma'am, 4 by 5 and 1 by 5 se multiply kyun kiya? I'll tell you. Why this 4 by 5 and 1 by 5? Because this is the total chocolate and I have to divide in some ratio. So these are the 50 employees. Out of those 50 employees, it says 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 are graduate and is to 1. This one is postgraduate. It's like this. So when I have total of 50, the ratio is 4:1. I need to calculate how many graduate. I need to calculate how many postgraduate. Okay. Keep practicing the questions. Whatever doubts you have, you can ask me post this class in the last half an hour, or you can also ask me before the beginning of the next class, or even in the subsequent classes for the ratio questions, additional questions that you are practicing. I will answer your doubts. Okay, I'll quickly repeat the solution for people. So I'll just tell you through steps. You have total employees. We'll go stepwise. As 50. The ratio of graduate is to postgraduate in the organization is 4:1. So if graduate is to postgraduate is 4:1. If graduate and postgraduate are 4:1. So graduate plus postgraduate would be equal to 4 plus 1. 5. So the ratio of graduate is 4 out of 5 and the ratio of postgraduate is 1 out of 5. 4 out of 5 of the total and 1 out of 5 of the total. So the number of graduates are 40. The number of existing postgraduates are 10. Now it says that you have hired some new postgraduates. After new postgraduates, the total postgraduate employees are 15. You need to identify what should be the total graduate employees so that your new total postgraduate ratio with the graduate employees comes to 3:1. So I don't know this. Let this be X upon 15 to be equal to 3 by 1. So that gives me X to be equal to 45. Existing graduates are 40. Total graduates are 45. So the new graduates that I have to hire are 5 more. That is it. Is that fine? Okay. All right. Second question. Look into this question, please. Look into this question. Okay, I have to give the inverse. I'll talk about inverse later on, right? Inverse of compound of 2:5 duplicate of 6:7, and subtriplicate of 1:8. First, I need to compound. Compound means you are multiplying the ratios. Fine. So 2:5 multiplied with duplicate. Duplicate, if you remember, is the square. Duplicate of 6:7 and subtriplicate. Subtriplicate is cube root. And compound these. Compound these means multiply them. So 2:5 is multiplied with 36:49, and the cube root of 1/8 is 1/2. Fine. So what I have got from here is 2 and 2 gets cancelled out. 36 is to 245. Yes. This is the compound. This is the compound. And I need inverse. So inverse would be 245 by 36. This is going to be your answer. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I'm getting some of the answers. I think there are confusions. People are giving me 36 by 245 as the answer. 36 by 245 is just the compound. Remember the inverse. I need to get the inverse of the compound of these ratios. So first you will compound all of them, whatever answer you get, then inverse it. So 245 by 36, those who are giving me 245 by 36, that's the correct answer. Parinita, your question is correct. It's 4x plus x is equal to 50 is the give you the number of employees, and hence 4x will stand for the graduate employees and x will stand for the postgraduate employees. Baki logo ka, the rest of the people you're answering correct. Okay, fine. Second one, if x is to y is 2 by 5, what is the value of 3x plus y is to 2x plus 3y? See, it's like this. If x by y is 2 by 5, what is the value of 3x plus y upon 2x plus 3y? One way of doing this is you find the values. As in you say x is equal to 2 by 5 times y and then substitute it. Personally, you may do this, like, but personally I will not prefer this solution, because then y has to be carried forward every time. So what I do is I just simplify it a bit. I would divide numerator and denominator by y first. So this looks something like this: 3 into x by y plus 1 upon 2 into x by y plus 3. Any problem to anyone in understanding till here? Though I've got all the answers. You're right. So what we would be doing is 3 multiplies 2 by 5 plus 1. 2 multiplies 2 by 5 plus 3. So just solve this. It becomes like this: 6 by 5 plus 1 upon 4 by 5 plus 3. You may take LCM and then solve. This looks like this: 6 plus 5 by 5 whole upon 12. Sorry. Okay. So this looks like this: 6 plus 5 by 5 upon 4 plus 15 by 5. So 5 and 5 cancels out here. You're left with 11 by 19, and 11 is to 19 is the correct answer. x equals to 2 and y equals to 5? No. Correct. Yes, correct. 11. Yes, you can assume that x equal to 2, y equal to 5, or x equal to 2a, y equal to 5a. That will also give you the correct answer. Yes, in all such cases, you'll get correct answer. 11 by 19 is correct. Okay. Let's go for the next one. So we are working quite quick and fast. All right. So the angles of quadrilateral are in the ratio 2:3:4:1. What are the angles? So if you know quadrilateral having 4 sides, one of the properties of the quadrilateral that we have studied in our earlier classes is that sum of all the 4 angles of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees, right? So angles of quadrilateral are in the ratio 2:3:4:1. So I told you this is a continuous ratio, continued ratio you were asking. When we have 3 or more quantities, and then they can be expressed as ratios in continuation. Fine. So sum of the angles of the quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. Let the angles be. For your understanding, I'll go stepwise. So let the angles be 2x, 3x, 4x, and x. Now we know that sum of all the angles of the quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. So 5 plus 4, 9 plus 1, 10x is equal to 360 degrees, and x is equal to 36 degrees. Once you got x, substitute. Multiply each ratio with this x. So your angles are 2 times 36, 72. 3 times 36, 108. 4 times 36, 144. And 1 times 36 as 36. Any problem? I hope this is understandable, right? I think, Ronak, you have missed one of the factors. All right. Are we done with this? The easier one again. Okay. Now another type of question. Yes, I'm getting the answers, good ones. Yes, very good. So if A is to B is the subduplicate of A minus x square upon B minus x square, then what is x square? What it means is if A by B is subduplicate of A minus x square upon B minus x square, subduplicate. What is the value of x square? So what are we going to do here? Squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides. Yes, Shreya, Chandan, I'm getting your answers. Yes, Sonal, Malay, I'm seeing your answers. Your answers are correct also. Yeah. So what would we do in order to remove this? Okay, try to understand. A by B, students often get confused. What they do is they say square root of A and square root of B is equal to A minus x square and B minus x square, which is wrong. Which is wrong. Try to understand. A minus B, A is to B is the ratio. But it is the ratio of subduplicate of this ratio. So we need to subduplicate this particular ratio. So we are subduplicating A minus x square and B minus x square. So while subduplicating it, we do the square root. So we will be squaring on both sides. So squaring on both sides means a square upon b square. And the squaring of square root gives you the number itself. Any problem to anyone? I hope you have understood this. Right? Cross multiply. It's a square into b minus x square to be equal to b square into a minus x square. What you can do is open the bracket, bring all the values to one side. A square b minus a square x square to be same as b square a minus b square x square. You have to find the value of x square. So bring both the value, both the x square terms on one side. This is minus. Coming here will make it plus. B square x square minus a square x square to be equal to b square a minus a square b. I hope there's no issue here. So we take out x square common. We have b square minus a square. We take out a b common. We have b minus a here. So x square will be equal to ab into b minus a upon b square minus a square. This is a square minus b square formula, which gives me b minus a into b plus a. Cancels out. So your x square is equal to ab upon a plus b. Why am I getting square roots? No, ab upon b plus a, b plus a. You are giving me b and then space a. A lot of you are giving me b and space a. It's not b space a, b plus a. Try to type plus in between. So x square is equal to ab upon a plus b. AB is not the answer. X is equal to the square root of whole square root of AB and A plus B. Yes. Okay. So Rahimeen is asking, squaring on both sides से square root कैसे cancel हुआ? See, square root means power 1 by 2. Square means power 2. So when we are squaring the square root, it becomes like this. We will also be studying in Dices chapter. You will be having a clarity there also. So this 2 and 2 cancels out and we are left with the number itself. This is for the question. Some of the questions are from the study material. Okay. So I hope this part is also clear. Moving towards the last question from the PPT, and then we will be discussing the questions that you are asking from your study material. Isha, it's your choice if you want to maintain a notebook or not. Yeah, that's your way of studying. And yes, some of the questions are from study material. We'll be discussing illustrations also, don't worry. Okay, now this is quite a technical, kind of question. This is similar. This is actually similar to what we have in the study material also. So yes, this is the last question. So this one says the ratio of income of the husband and wife is 5:4. So ratio of income of husband and wife is 5:4. So I'll say let income of husband be 5I and wife be 4I. We can always split the ratios by adding a common number there, as in multiplying the common number over there. Then the ratios can be split up. Do you understand? Ratio, this is the simplest form of the expression. So there must be some number with which it is multiplied and then we get the actual value or actual quantity. So let the income of husband be 5I rupees and income of wife be 4I rupees. And then I have been given expense. Expense of husband be rupees 6E and wife be rupees 7E. What is saving? Saving is your income minus expense. Both of them are saving 10,000 rupees. We will discuss the other questions, please. So saving will be income minus expense. 5I minus 6E will be equal to 10,000. That's the first equation. Same way, 4I after doing an expense of 7E saves 10,000. These are the two equations. Yes, you can take X instead of I. I took it because I was representing I as income and E as expense. You can take X and Y, you can take A and B, you can take P and Q, whatever variable you want. So we can solve these two equations. The equation is a chapter that we will be understanding later on, but still we can at least try to solve these questions. So what we would be doing is, we may try to find out the value of I from here and substitute it in the second equation. As in, if 5I minus 6E is equal to 10,000, 5I is equal to 10,000. This minus goes here and becomes plus 6E. So I becomes 10,000 plus 6E by 5. Now substitute this third equation in the second equation. That is 4 into 10,000 plus 6E by 5 minus 7E to be equal to 10,000. Solve this. This becomes 40,000 by 5 plus 24 by 5E minus 7E to be equal to 10,000. Solve this again. 8,000. So 24E minus 35E by 5 is equal to 10,000 minus 8,000. I think there's some mistake in the question. Because I'm getting an expense of negative value, there is chance that the question is incorrect. Okay, so we get E as a negative value. 2,000 into 5 by 11, that's minus 10,000 by 11. So if we substitute this, I will be equal to 10,000 plus 6 times minus 10,000 by 11 whole by 5. By 55. Okay, probably because the question had random number, so the answer might be not in line, right? Yes, expense is coming to negative. Yes, that's correct then. So your income is 10,000 by 11. Excuse me. This is what we have got as I. So we have got I as 10,000 by 11. How much do they earn? For the husband, the income is 50,000 by 11. And for the wife, the income is 40,000 by 11. That's your answer. So we can leave it here. That's okay. That might be because the question ended up being inconsistent. Yes, 10,000 by 11 is correct. Yes. So yes, with this, we are ending up with the questions that we have had. Any doubts that you would like to ask from the study material or from the topics that we have studied till now? No, it's fine. Your expenses might be negative here and the income is there. Uh, let's not go into how the income and saving can be negative. The point here is we must know how to solve the question. That's okay. That's fine. The number ended up being abrupt, but that's fine. Order of the terms in a ratio. Yes, Yumanshi is asking the order of terms in a ratio. So what I would do is, let me just take up the initial page so that we can discuss the notes here. Okay, so you're asking me the order of the ratio. Order of the ratio, if the ratio is to b, that's the order. Like a is in the numerator part and b is in the denominator part. Again, order of the ratio, if 4:5, that is 4 will be the antecedent and b 5 will be the consequent. That's the order of the ratio. Fine. So that is what we are saying by the order of the ratio. It must be this. Okay. Then yes, you can multiply the equation to cancel out. If you know how to solve the equations, you can take the common factor and multiply it. See, I have told you for that particular question, the number ended up being abrupt. So don't follow it. Income kitna bada aur chota rahega, that's fine. Question number 30 in the study material. Someone is asking question number 30 in the study material. Question number 30, you will have to give me the page number also. Then I can refer to that particular question only. Question number 5, you want to repeat? Okay, I'll repeat it. Probably I'll correct this part. Okay. I think sorry, the slide got stopped. And yes, so I was saying the last question I'll repeat this part. See, this one says let, okay, okay. So let the income of husband be 5x and wife be 4x. Fine. We convert this into numbers 5x and 4x. Then the expenses of husband be 6y and wife be 7y. So they are saving 5x minus 6y. They are saving 10,000 each. This is how the equation is formed, right? But see, what happened is because the number went abrupt. So hence we are getting this as two linear equations. We can solve by either of the methods. So what I would have done is I would have multiplied this equation by 4. Someone said, can we use multiplication method? Yes, we can use that. So this becomes like this, 20x minus 24y to be equal to 40,000. here 20x minus 35y to be equal to 50,000. So when we are solving this, this gives you 11y to be equal to minus 10,000 and y to be equal to minus 10,000 by 11. That's fine. It's an equation. So that relationship could be fine. Okay, don't worry. So whenever you get such question, just simply solve it. That's what more important is, right? So you get a y of minus 10,000 by 11 and you substitute this y in any of the equations. So 5x minus 6 into minus 10,000 by 11 to be equal to 10,000. Solve this. This becomes 5x plus 60,000 by 11 to be equal to 10,000. 5x to be equal to 10,000 minus 60,000 by 11. Solve this. You get 1,10,000 minus 60,000 by 11 as 50,000 by 11. So your 5x is equal to 50,000 by 11. Your x is equal to 10,000 by 11. Fine. So basically what we can understand from here is your income is 10,000, as in your income is about the multiple of 10,000 by 11. And rather than expending from your income, you are as in expending from the negative side, you're not expending at all. So if you want to get the logic, but otherwise it's like this, you get the value of x. So income of husband would be 5 times the ratio, and income of wife would be again 4 times the ratio. So naturally the question was abrupt. The value came out wrong. We can see this very clearly. It is approximately 4,000 some amount is coming. So when you have an income of some 4,000, you cannot save 10,000. So naturally the question ended up being wrong. Otherwise it's fine. Or maybe the printing error was there. It must have been saving of 1,000 rupees. Maybe that would have helped. So anyways, forget it. So this is again, yes, this is your answer as of now, giving you the ratio also. Study material exercise 1A and number 2. Question number 2 in 1A. It's easy. The ratio of two quantities is 3:4. The antecedent is 15. What is the consequent? So I'll tell you. I'll keep the plain page next time. Okay, so this question is question number 2 of exercise 1A. It says ratio of the two quantities is 3:4. That is the ratio. Quantities are 3x and 4x. So if 3x by 4x has the antecedent as 15, what is the consequent? So 3 times what? 3 into 5 times is 15. Then you will multiply this also 5 times. That's 20. So your consequent here is 20. I hope I have answered that part to Atanu. Then page 1.6. Page 1.6, question number, I didn't get. Page 1.6 you just gave me. Explain question number 10 on 1.6. Fine. Okay. Look at the question number 10, page 1.6. This says ratio compounded of 4/9 and duplicate of 3/4. So just keep adding the feature. Duplicate means square of 3/4 and triplicate of 2/3. Triplicate of 2/3 means cube of 2/3 and 9/7 and 9/7. Simply multiply these 4/9 into 9/16 into 8/27 into 9/17. Solve this. 9 and 9 gets cancelled out. 4 4s are, 4 2s are, 9 3s are. So 2:51 is your answer. Question number 11, 4. None of these would be your answer. All right. Then came question number 15 of page 1.6. I'm trying to cover as much, but I'm getting a lot of questions. Okay. Question number 30. Okay, did I miss that? Sorry, I'm sorry. You said question number 30 of page 1.14. Okay, don't worry, we'll be covering this. As of now, I'm not taking this up, or should I? I can tell you anyways. So question number 30 of, this is more of proportion question, which we will be taking up in the next class. I think that would be better. But I can give you a hint. What you can do is x upon b plus c minus a is equal to y upon c plus a minus b is equal to z upon a plus b minus c. Take it equal to some common number k. So now what will happen is you will find the value of x. X will be equal to k into b plus c minus a. Likewise, y will be equal to c plus a minus b into k. And z will be equal to a plus b minus c into k. When you have these three values, substitute into the equation, you will get your answer. If not, we can discuss it in the next class when we'll be done with the proportion. And 1.6 question number 11 of the module. We have done compounding. Please do this yourself again. At least try on your own for some of the questions. Please strictly remain to ratios question. 1A question number 23. The number which when subtracted from each of the terms of the ratio 19:31, reducing it to 1:4. So this is question number 23, page 1.7. This one says, if the ratio is 19:31, what should be that one number which when subtracted from both of them gives you the ratio as 1:4. Simply cross multiply and solve them. So this is going to be 76 minus 4x equals to 31 minus x. Bring both the x's on one side. 3x is equal to 45. So x gives you 15. So your answer is 15. All right. Or this is like one of the ways of solving it. If you don't want to solve by using x, if you want a shortcut, you have the ratios 19:31. You have the three options with you. Hit and try all the three options quickly. If your mental maths is very good, just do this. 18/30, 6 while deducting 1. 6 3s are 6 10s are. So you want the ratio as 1:3, I think. 1:4. It's not giving 1:4, not equal to 1:4. Then again, deducting this 14 upon 26, again not equal to 1/4. Deducting this, you get your answer. So this is also one of the ways of doing the question. in a short manner or in a less span of time. When you have these options in front of you, rather than solve the entire question, you can simply apply the three options and see if your answer is coming to the required situation. If yes, go ahead with the answer, mark it. It's like this. A lot of questions now. Oh, yes, correct. Sorry, I'm sorry. I might have not seen this. This is 9/7 and this is 2:21. Yes, the answer is correct. For everybody who's prompting me 2:21 every time. Yes, I missed that part. Question, you are expecting me to solve each and every question from here. Okay, this one we can do. Okay, see this. Question number 22. This one says if P is to Q is 2/3, X is to Y is 4/5, you have to find the value of 5px plus 3qy upon 10px plus 4qy. Compound the ratios. Px by qy is equal to 2 into 4 upon 3 into 5, which is 8/15. So again, 5 into px by qy plus 3 upon 10 into px by qy plus 4. So 5 into 8/15 plus 3 upon 10 into 8/15 plus 4. Either you simplify it here itself, 5 and this cancels out, this gives you 3. Same 5 twos are, and this is 3. Or you simply do it as it is the calculation. So 8 plus 9/3 upon 2 8s are 16 plus 12/3. So 17:28 is your answer for question number 22. Vivek. Yes, there is an assignment of 5 questions. You can do that. Yes, Ustad, I have corrected it. I mistakenly took 17. 22 I have solved a lot many times. I've got this 22 request I've solved just now. Question number 24. 24, yes, we can do 24. I think that's a better version of what my material had. At least you will have a good answer. So what we can do is, I'll just rub this off. And this says the ratio or the daily earnings of the two persons is 4:5. So let's correct this part. 4:5. And their daily expenses are in the ratio 7:9. Fine. Maybe this will be more understandable. So if each saves 50 rupees per day, what are their daily earnings? So again, let the incomes be 4x and 5x. The expenses are 7y and 9y, and both are saving 50 rupees every day. Solve the two equations. So you can solve the two equations. You will have 4x to be equal to 50 plus 7y, and or maybe multiply this entire part with 5, this entire with 4. So this becomes 20x minus 35y equals to 250. 20x minus 36y equals to 200. Subtracting the equations, 20 minus 20 goes off, minus 35 plus 36y equals to 250 minus 250. So you get y as 50. Substitute in any of the equations. So your 4x is equal to 50 plus 7 into 50. That is 4x is equal to 400 and x is equal to 100. So your incomes are 4 into 100, 400 and 5 into 100 as 500. 400 and 500 are your incomes. Question number 21 is similar one. We have already done subduplicate kind of ratio. So please try it again. Okay. So I'm not repeating 21. 22 I have done. Please focus in the class. Okay. Fine. So this says P, Q, and R are the, or question number 18. Someone is asking question number 18. See this. Question number 18 says P, Q, and R are the three cities. The ratio of average of the temperature between P and Q is 11:12. Ratio of the temperature between P and R is 9:8. You have to get the ratio between Q and R. So in order to make the ratios comparable, you have to make them into equivalent fractions. That's what we studied. So P by Q if is equal to 11/12 and P by R if is equal to 9/8. We want to eliminate the P part. Look here, we want to eliminate the P part. I hope all of you are focusing. So we will make them equivalent fraction by bringing both the P's equal. So we multiply this by 9, we multiply this by 11. So this becomes 99/108. This becomes 99/88. So the ratio between Q and R hence would be equal to this 99 and 99 goes off. Ratio for Q is 108, for R is 88. So just simplify this. This will be 4 22s are 4 2s are 8 and 28 7. 27:22 is your answer, part B. Okay. Yes, you can use calculators. Is the original quantity called antecedent, or the value in the ratio should be called as antecedent? See, anything that comes in the ratio's numerator is known as antecedent. So that can be the simplest form also, and that can be the quantity also. Fine. So whenever we are expressing the two quantities in the ratio form, whether it is the simplest form or whether it is in the other form, so this will be called as antecedent or antecedent. The numerator is antecedent and the denominator is descendant. Okay, too many questions. Question number 19th. Okay. For question number 19, though I will take it, you must have the knowledge of algebra also. So this says x by y is 3/4. You have to find out the ratio of x square y plus xy square whole upon x cube plus y cube. So what we would be doing here is take out xy common. This will be x plus y. This is a cube plus b cube. A cube plus b cube says a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square. So this cancels out. Now you have something like this. So if you bring it to the denominator, that is divide the whole part by xy. So this becomes 1 upon, okay, xy by xy. And this will be x square by xy minus xy by xy plus y square by xy. 1 upon x by y minus 1 plus y by x. It's like this. So now what do you need for solving this? It's 1 upon 3 by 4 minus 1 plus 4 by 3. Take the LCM. 4, 3, 12. 12 by 4. 3 3s are 9 minus 12. 12 by 3, 4. 4s are 16 upon 1. Basically reciprocating this. 12, this goes above, and solving this. 25 minus 12 is 13. 12 is to 13 is your answer. I hope that solves your problem. Eleventh you can do, please. It's not a big deal. We have already discussed 11 type of question, the type of question that 11 is. So please practice. That's fine. Again, you are sending me 11 request. Okay, I'll see. See question number 11. I am getting this request again and again. So the ratio compounded of the duplicate of 4 by 5, triplicate of 1 by 3, subduplicate of 81 by 256, and subtriplicate of 125 by 512. So 4 by 5 into 4 by 5, 1 by 3 into 1 by 3. Square root of 81 is 9. Square root of 256 is 16. Okay, and cube root of 125, 5 5s are 25, 5s are 125. Cube root of 5 and 2 is 8. So 4 4s are 16, cancels out. 3 3s are 9, cancels out. 5 cancels out. So you're left with 1 upon 5 3s are 15, 8s are 120. Question number 11. Square 5 5 is a 25. Yes. Okay. 1 is to 120 will be your answer. Right. So good that you people are also solving along with me. That's fine. See, antecedent and consequent are present in the two number ratios. So in the two numbered ratio, it's the numerator that is antecedent and it's the denominator that is consequent. In the three numbered ratio, when you are saying something like this, it's a continuous ratio. So you will not find out, okay, even if there is, you will consider these as antecedents and consequence, though there is another relationship of, proportion here. So what we have not covered right now. So don't get confused with that part. Right now, just understand when you have a ratio of just two numbers, the numerator is the antecedent and the denominator is the consequent. Okay, question number 21. But you are making me do again and again the same kinds of questions, but you need to practice all of them on your own also. So question number 21. It says 2s by 3t is the duplicate of 2s minus p upon 3t minus p. It is the duplicate. Duplicate means you will square it. Fine. Just open it. Normal solving. This will be 4s square plus p square minus 4sp whole upon 9t square plus p square minus 6pt. Square root will not solve. Okay, so cross multiply all of them. So just keep on multiplying the numbers. 18st square plus 2sp square minus 2 into 6, 12 spt to be equal to 12s square plus 3p square t minus 12 pst. So 12 pst, 12 pst cancels out. And okay, I think I missed this. S square t, all right. STs, both on one side, the remaining on the other sides. So 18st square minus 12s square t to be equal to 3p square t minus 2sp square. So we take out 6st common from here. This is t minus 3t minus 2s to be equal to p square taken out common, 3t minus 2s. This and this cancels out. So your answer is p square is equal to 6st. Okay. When it is, I know it is st square and s square t. So I have taken st as common. Fine. So don't worry. Parinita is asking if there is no, there's an option of none of these. So it will turn out to be correct if we are not solving the questions, but just getting the answers by inspecting the options. Yes. When you are inspecting the options, when you're inspecting all of the options and you found that the rest of the three options are not giving a valid answer or is not satisfying the condition which is given in the question, naturally, none of these turns out to be the correct answer. Right? Thank you so much for appreciating. Yeah. (54 by 343) is a normal ratio. It should be equal to what? Because 343 is a cube of 7. No? Example 3, page number 5. Example 3, page number 5. Example 3, page number 5 is a very important question. Very good. Someone has asked this. If you all are staying for just 10 more minutes, I would like to cover this. This is a very good question. Thank you for someone who's asking this question. Yes, example 3 is a very good question. Thank you, Anushka, for raising this up. I'll just take this very quickly and then we'll end the class from there. Okay, example 3, let that be the last question for our discussion for the day. So I'm taking example 3 here. This question says, find in what ratio will the total wages of the workers of the factory be increased or decreased if there will be a reduction in the number of workers in the ratio 15:11 and an increment in their wages ratio to be 22:25. So this is FMR here, the utility of FMR. So we do not know how many number of workers are there. We do not know what amount of wage they are earning daily. But it is given that if we are decreasing the number of workers by some ratio, we can increase the wages in some ratio. Fine. By decreasing the number of workers in some ratio, we can also increase the amount of wage by some number. This will lead to change in the total wage expense. So whether that change is an increase or decrease, we have to find that out. And then if there is an increase in what ratio, if there is a decrease in what ratio. Fine. This is very important. Now focus on this. So let us say, let total number of workers be X. So if the total number of workers be X, this is original number of workers. Original number of workers be X. Fine. And the workers are to be reduced in 15:11 ratio. You remember FMR? It said if you are decreasing X to 15:11. So what will be your new number of workers? Your new number of workers would be inverse of the ratio multiplied by original times. Okay, I'll not take X because X will be confused with multiply sign. So let the original number of workers be W. So this is 11 by 15 times the W. So the new number of workers for you would be 11W by 15. That's it. That the story, this part of story ends here. Then the next part says, let wage paid per worker be Y rupees. If the wage paid per worker is Y rupees, the new wage is increased in 22:25 ratio. So new wage per worker will be equal to, now you will give me this answer, 25 by 22 times Y. Are you understanding this? So original total wage would be equal to W workers and Y amount being paid to each. So WY would be the total original wage. New wage total will be equal to, we have now new number of workers are as 11W by 15 and new amount of wage by 25 by 22Y. So when we solve this, 11 2s are and 5 3s are 5 5s are. This comes to 5WY by 6. So this is your answer. Your original total wage was WY. Now it is coming to 5 by 6th of WY. Is it increasing or decreasing? When the numerator is less than the denominator. When 1 and this is 5 by 6. 1 and 5 by 6. So this is less now. So your new total wage declined. Fine, it declined. By how much ratio? By original ratio is X is to Y is to 5 by 6 into x is to y. Sorry, not x, but w is to y. So has declined by 6 is to 5. This is your answer. Fine. This is your answer. Decreasing, very good. And by 6 is to 5. That is, if you were paying 6 times earlier, now you're paying 5 times. Good to go? Thank you so much. 10th answer. Okay, I'll tell you. I hope this is good. Someone now is asking me the answer for Vinodini is asking for question number 10th. Though this was supposed to be the last question, but still, okay, I'll tell you the answer for question number 10. It says ratio compounded of 4 by 9, duplicate of 3 by 4, and triplicate of 2 by 3, and 9 by 7. Oh, we did it now in the class. 4 by 9 into 9 by 16 into 8 by 27 into 9 by 7. Just cut off whatever is possible. 4 4s, 4 2s, and then 9 3s. So 2 by 21 is the answer. Okay. Okay, how do we know it decreased? Varda is asking. See, your original wage was WY because W was the number of workers, Y was the wage paid per person, WY. Now the new wage, after multiplying the new number of workers with the new amount of wage, is 5 by 6 of Y, WY. So if something is 60 and 5 by 6 of 60, क्या हो जाता है? It becomes 50. Naturally, when the numerator is less and the denominator is more, the whole number multiplied decreases. So hence, this 5 by 6 of WY shows that it is decreasing. And reciprocal क्यों हुआ? See, it is not reciprocating. We are comparing the two amounts. WY was original amount divided by the new amount 5 by 6 of WY. So 1 upon 5 by 6 is what? 1 upon 5 by 6 is 6 by 5. Okay. We are not reciprocating. We reciprocal nahi hai. This is comparing the ratios, calculating the ratio. Thank you so much, Harshita. Thank you, Chinky. Thank you, Pavitra. Thank you so much. Question number 17. It is better if you hit and try this question. Though we can solve it also with the method, it will take some time. So for question number 17, Malay, you are asking, it is better you do hit and try. So you find out the options. If all the options are in the 7:10 ratio, see the first one naturally goes off. 200 by 305. 305 is not a multiple of 10. So you will not consider it. The second option is 185 by 290. Is 185 and 290 29 sevens are 185? No. So hence second option also goes away. It's not a good option. 245 by 315. So 10 times 350, 35. 35 into 7. Is it 245? If yes, then this is your answer. So C part is your answer. I can tell you even without solving, C part is the answer. Okay. Thank you so much. End of the ratio chapter, we'll be doing proportion in the next class, and still keep practicing. You will have assessment questions. Do practice them. If you have any other doubts or any other practice question doubts, you can take up in the next class before starting the new topic. Till then, keep practicing and we'll meet in the next class. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.